What is shaking your tube? It's the angel of authenticity here. Live from my fort. Working on a hole with my heat source. I was thinking the other day, what is exactly the role and some of the duties of being the angel of authenticity? And the first one that came to my mind is being able to be the blame and to be able to take action all while minding your own business. Think about that. Because it's very difficult to take action on things while minding your own business. Why do I say that? I believe you could defeat demonic strongholds, actually, by minding your own business. This is what I mean. When you mind your own business, you're not feeding into that spirit, that janky demonic spirit that's like, "Oh, how about now? Oh, darling, how about now?" You know, the same guy that's like just sitting there waiting for you to cross his path so they can give you a bad deal. Part of that spirit's persona, if you will, is to be recognized. You know, them are the people that don't do any good by themselves. I mean, they don't do any good by themselves. You leave them alone for 10 seconds and they're already causing mayhem and disruption. So, by minding your own business and being completely unbothered, you are literally making strongholds unravel because you won't even notice their plan in order to be a part of it. You know what I mean? And that's just the way you have to be with that kind of thing. So, one of the duties being the angel of authenticity is to be able to take the blame and mind your own business, all while taking action. What's shaking, Muhammad? How are you? Pakistan? I'm from Indiana, United States, like the Great Lakes and north. I was talking about God. Do you believe in God? Or do you maybe believe in, what, Judah or Muhammad, maybe? I don't know. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. See here. Dirt, sand and dirt. Not sand like you got though, huh? Look at all the tree roots. Oh wait, I forgot I could do it like this, sorry. Okay, so see, yeah, I got a lot of tree roots going here. I've been just trying to weave them up out of the way, sort of. Some of them obviously had to get broken. They get broken. I try to not break them, but they get broken. But I weave them up out of the way, and then I kind of replant them around it, and that'll help make this a solid structure too. Since it's going to be for my fire deal, even though I got a metal thing I'm going to sink down in there, I'll still kind of try to reroute them a little bit further away maybe, so they don't get damaged. You know, there's a lot of trees here. So there's an entrance of my fort there. You guys don't forget to like and share and subscribe. It does help me out a whole bunch. It gets me seen. So anyway, this is my blanket hanging behind me to dry, and it's kind of blocking the sun right now. It's very sunny out. So yeah, that's my hole I got going on. And then on the other side of me here is my tent on my platform there. So this will be right in front of my tent here. And then I'm going to enclose it all the way around on this section of it here. And then we'll be able to keep some heat in maybe this winter. When we're out here messing around, playing our guitar and stuff. So, I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll see. With all good things comes a little bit of failure, you know. It's like, if you ain't wrecking, you ain't riding. I'm not much for wrecking, but I sure have laid over my bike in a lot of driveways, though, trying to get it pulled out. That's why I park on a big hill now, so I don't have that problem. I can roll backwards. Then you got to worry about eating shit on your way down, though. That kind of sucks. Because it's kind of like, whoa, once you get going, like when my brakes were going out, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, shit. Fart, please. I don't got a fart. I just made a pot of beans yesterday, and I still don't got a fart. The old roomie, though, that's another story. He was really letting loose. Everybody wants to blame the beans. I don't know about that. When your ass is on fire like that, you're getting that vocal. So anyway, yeah, I'm digging a hole here, but I got to work around all these tree roots. So I can't really just take a shovel to it. And I almost got it. It's really close now. Then I could pop the thingy that I got that I want to put in here. It's like an old furnace duct intake thing. I don't know. I'm going to set it in there first, I think. I think maybe I'll lay some, like, I got a shit ton of grout. I think the grout on the sand will help make it kind of like hold the heat. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I wish I had some cement or something, but I don't. Just to put on there dry, you know what I mean, and pack it in. Just to keep your dirt from falling in more and stuff. Works really good. It'll absorb. You don't need to add no water or nothing. It'll absorb it from the sand. Or dirt, I should say. If it's super dry sand, you might want to mist it or do it when it's, just wait till it rains and, you know, when it's a good time to push around dirt. Where it'll hold together and you can actually make yourself a hole or whatever, you know. So my plan is I'm going to have my pipe right there coming in at like a, I don't know what that angle is, 40, 45 degree angle maybe. You know, it'll come off like this. It's like a rectangle thing that's going to sit in the ground, and I want to make it so it's ground level so I can walk on a grate and my heat's coming up from the floor, essentially. And then I have a truck topper underneath my tent, holding my tent up to raise it up off the ground. And I thought that would be good to feed the air through to make it raise up underneath my tent. That's my plan. I don't know if it'll work. I'm not qualified at all to be doing any of this, so you guys are going to learn with me, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I was saying about demonic strongholds. You know, for one, authenticity is it's the counteractive emotion to illusions. You know, being authentic makes illusions just crumble. And illusions is like everything that the demonic empire has. They can't have anything and they can't create nothing unless they can get you to give it to them or trick you out of it. That's a fact. The devil cannot create anything. That's why he steals everything. He's the king of counterfeit, the great accuser, the big jinky jink, copy, counterfeit, dilute. You know, if you can't take it, like destroy it for you and make you just like walk around like a big sobbing baby with your thumb in your, sucking your thumb in the corner somewhere, then he'll just put a whole shit ton of bullshit copies that everybody knows it's not you or whatever out there, but it just dilutes the whole idea. And then therefore, when you go to present it, it's bullshit. Nobody wants to hear it. You know what I mean? That's how it happens. That's what he does. But you know, why he does all that and he goes through all that trouble is because people that mind their own business aren't catering to him. They don't give a shit what he thinks. The people that mind their own business, they don't care less what kind of great plan they got in the orchestrating in the ethers or something. Like when you mind your own business and you don't give a shit, you're not prying into it, and you're also, when you're minding your own business, you're not gossiping with people. You're not saying, "Oh, did you know? Have you heard?" You know what I mean? All that shit's bad. stay away from it. That's all word witchery at the end of the day, unless you're saying wonderful things. That's great. That's what we need to be doing about it. But instead, people want to talk a bunch of shit when they get together about people, and then it fucks it all up, which I don't agree with at all. I don't, because that's like literally robbing them of their empire and you of yours, because you're just a low vibrational fuck that wants to sit there and talk shit about everybody. So yes, minding your own business while taking the blame, all while taking action. That's the duties of the angel of authenticity. Always doing things in love, showing compassion when you can, and care to others, and above all else, tell the truth. Just always tell the truth and be a good person, That's my duties. But really think about what that breaks down to. Minding your own business while taking the blame and trying not to fail others while taking action on behalf of, for, because of, or sole proprietor of people, places, or things. Minding your own business while taking action. Now let's think about that, because a lot of times when you got to take action on people's things, you practically need their whole life's history. You need their social security number. You need their you know what I mean? Like, you got to have their secret code to get on their account just to pay a bill or whatever. Like, it's really bullshitty. It's very difficult to take action on situations without having to pry or poke into them. It's a really gifted art, honestly. Minding your own business while taking action on people, places, or things on behalf of or as a result of, all while taking the blame and trying not to fail anybody. Strongholds come down when you do that, when you can mind your own business and you're not bothered, because they put on this huge spectacle. Evil does. Your opposition in general is going to put on this huge spectacle, and if you're not there to see it, witness it, react to it, or just completely like get all shit faced, stirred crazy over it, then they lose. Like, they can't even go any further with that plan, because like, you got to notice it for it to be a plan. If you completely ignore it and you don't even want to know any more than they've already been forced upon your ears, because this is about protecting your peace in the long run. God promises us peace. We have that through Jesus, but like, a lot of people don't have peace. They live in chaos, and I'm not one of them, but I have to protect my peace every single day of my life. Bet that. Every single day of my life. It's not like you get your peace and then you have it forever and that's it. There's a lot of maintenance on being a spiritual, holy person. A whole lot of maintenance. And like, I tell people to lean into God and he'll help you out. Once they're on the path, once you get on the path, God promises that he has them too. You know what I mean? So I count on that a lot. I coax all these people to get on the path. Very much about like Jesus did in the book of John, where he was asking about why the world hates us. He's like, how am I supposed to tell these people to go do something that the world's going to hate them for? They're going to murder them. They're going to stone them. They're not going to have a good time. Like, and God talks about not being of this world, and we're not of it. And that's why the world hates us. But like, when you're sitting there bitching and moaning and complaining, and you're like, well, I don't know how you want me to do no lemonade stand. How am I going to do some stupid lemonade stand when I don't even have any lemons? And the universe will say, well, what, do you need some lemons or something? And you'll be like, yeah, well, how am I going to have a lemonade stand without any lemons, man? You know? And so the universe gives you this endless supply of lemons. Now, the point of this is you're supposed to come back in prayer, and go back to God and say, God, okay, the lemons are great, but now I need a pitcher, because you're actually walking that path doing it. Even though you don't got everything you need yet, you're actually trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, you're supposed to go back to prayer and say, oh, lemons are great. I need a pitcher now. And God will be with you all through the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, this opportunity to get this great picture will come up. And then you're going to need to go back and prayer the next day and say, man, I need some ice. That's how it's supposed to go. But we're so fucking stubborn. We get the fucking lemons, And like either way, God, it's a win for God. You know, if you make the lemonade stand, that's all that matters. But like without no pitcher, no ice, no cup, or anything like that, but your janky sign and some lemons, like all you could do is be the main squeeze and watch them pucker up, you know. Or you can go back in prayer and you could keep building the things that you need. That's a key thing right there, because like we don't ever think about that. We'll be like, well, all I have is lemons. Now I don't have this and I don't have that. And you hear about it all the time with like small businesses and things that people invest in. They'll be like, well, I bought him the truck, I gave him this, we bought the insurance, he had that, he had a credit card, you know, I don't know what's going on. And it's like, because he didn't have a trailer, you know, he almost had everything he needed, but that was weird. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, you can literally take down strongholds simply by minding your own business and letting the chaos ensue around you, because you know we're not supposed to fight these battles. This battle's already won anyway. That's what like a lot of evil people fail to realize. This battle's already been won. It's just a matter of not getting tricked out of your spot in the meantime. You hear what I said? It's a matter of not getting tricked out of your spot in the meantime. So, I'm just saying. I do have to believe that when God wants you to go from a place, that like he'll put the fire under your ass pretty quick. I know I moved in a hurry before, you know, and it's like we need to think as people about how we could do that. How do we take action more on things that we need to mind our own business with? That's like the $1,000,000 question right now to me. That's what I do on a daily. It's not easy to do. It's really actually quite difficult, and you have to have, it's a matter of divine timing for certain. But you don't always have timing on your side. So how do you mind your own business, but take action for people, places, and things, and always tell the truth? You know, that's what I do. So yeah, leaning into God, it doesn't necessarily look like making them line up and be in the main squeeze and watching them pucker up because you didn't ask for a pitcher or sugar or ice. You know, you got what you asked for. Or you could always go out and be like they did, like they taught us in the early 80s and the 70s and stuff like that on that Sesame Street. They taught us our numbers. Every time you got a new number, the guy would come out and he was always like the crime boss looking guy with the fedora and the trench coat in the back alley. And he would go, "Psst, hey, bub, you want to buy some nines?" And they'll be like, no, I don't want to buy any nines, but I could use some sixes. You got any sixes? Oh, no, I'm not out of sixes, you know, but I got some sevens. You want some sevens? Maybe you could take some of them lemons and hustle them off like they did the numbers on Sesame Street and be like, "Stay up, you want to buy some lemons?" And then you could take it and buy some sugar. That could work also, you know, and then you don't have to bother God, because God wants us to be able to do it by ourselves, but he'll still help you, you know? That's the whole point, though, is to try to do it by yourself. So anyway, I'm just sitting here trying to kind of dig around these roots here to get down a little further than I am. All right. I'm just tying these roots up out of my way so I can maybe take the shovel in here a little bit to get out what I just dug loose. Yep. There's a whole lot of them. I'm getting real close to being deep enough now, I think. I don't know, I always think that name. I'm only like halfway there usually. I'm not a very good hole digger. I don't know. I guess I gotta just maybe bring my thingy over here and check it out. I don't know how further I gotta go here. I don't know. I should just go further anyway. I know I'm almost there. And I'll be trying to make it work almost there, and I'm not there yet. So now I need to dig the trench too for my pipe that'll come in at an angle to supply it air. That'll stick out at like a 45-degree angle or whatever it is. I don't know. Sticks out at a slant though, like that maybe. I was just meaning to look it up and I went live instead. So I'm just gonna go off of my memory, like what it looked like. I remember it looking. Yeah, I gotta loosen that up still more. Okay. They used to tell us when we were kids that if you don't believe in it, magic and stuff like that only works when you believe in it. And I think that could be true to a degree. But what you don't know does hurt you. That we know. It certainly can. So it's just important to realize how important your words are and how important the word no is in particular. God will never make you feel rushed or hurried, or he'll never make you feel like you're not enough. He always calls you by your name. Is another thing. It won't be no nickname or something. He's going to call you by your name. And God will never make you feel less than. There's a lot of emphasis on that we're enough as we are. And God meets you where you're at. He ain't going to be saying, oh, come here, come here. God will meet you right where you're at. So if you keep all that in mind, it helps you out to know with our earthly boundaries and our spiritual, when to take that action, and that'll enable you to take action and mind your own business too when you're doing it based on faith like that. Because God will say, whoa, 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 get your ass home or something. If it's not the battle that you're supposed to be picking, you know what I mean? Like you'll just have that feeling. I'm pretty good at getting that whoa, whoa, whoa from some people. Not so much God. God sits there and smiles because he knows already what I'm doing. That's about the only person that usually does, including myself. So yeah, I got my whole. It's coming along here. I guess I could show it to you real quick here so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. See. So I'm down like I don't know, almost like as wide as my cell phone. I mean, as deep as my cell phone. That's not very deep. I got a little ways to go yet. Okay, so there's the other side of my fort. This is like the open part of it, sort of. It's kind of open. I got like a lot of tree cover here, though. I'm going to seal it in with saran wrap, actually, on this inside part, just right where my tent is. See how that works. It won't be like exposed very much, so I don't know. It might work. It'll help definitely keep my heat in there at least for a few months. Uh, I have a house, so I don't have to like live out here. I just come out here to play my guitar and write songs, and hang out in nature. And I really do like the snow. And I'm thinking that when it snows, it'll fall down on that saran wrap if any actually hits in here, because it's like a very wooded area. What does fall in here, though, will fall on that saran wrap and it'll go around and it might make like an igloo around my tent, is what I'm hoping. I don't see why it wouldn't work, especially with a little coaxing. So I don't know. We'll see. But that right there is a good insulator on its own. If it just lasted some months, I would be happy with that, just to help keep the wind down. And yeah. And I'm thinking with the heat coming up in this bubble, when it comes up in the bubble, when it's all wrapped up, like it'll make it want to melt around it and make it like ice, like an igloo. now I'm starting to get down to stuff that hasn't had no water in a while. It's starting to get really hard. We had drought conditions this year. It just rained the other day, you know. I should have dug probably a day or two ago, but I had a tarp, like, putting the water right on the spot when it came down, because it's been so dry, it's like impossible to do it in sand like this. You could dig all day long and it'll look like a UFO hit the ground or something a bunch of times. It won't look like no hole. Not for me anyway. I'm not no good digger though. I'm not terrible at it, but it takes me a long time because I do it my own way. Yeah, I'm on some real hard shit now. Okay, let's see. I gotta hold these out of the way. I've been trying to kind of bury them. I don't even know. Maybe I'll get my thingy and see if it'll fit. Even if I want it to be level with the ground though. That's a big thing. I gotta go further. I did have a measuring stick somewhere. Here it is. See, it needs to go down about that to there. Wait, you can't see that. Sorry. I'm only to there. It needs to go about that much further. So yeah, I gotta get some digging time in here. I might be able to get a shovel down there, but now it's real hard with the part that I'm at. It's been totally bone dry. Fuck this, man. Okay, I need some of this dirt right here. Ugh. Try to bury some of these roots up out of the way. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. God, it got so hard already. I didn't think it'd be hard that quick. I just need to go get some water and pour it in there. trench out my spot for my pipe now. I'm going to put it over here. Whoa. All right. Put it over here by these trees so nobody like falls over it. I guess I could probably start digging that maybe. I probably need to go get my thingy. I'm just using this piece of muffler pipe. Yeah, I gotta get my thingy. Get all kinds of noise here. It's gotta go down a lot more. Digging to do. Fuck. That sucks. That sucks. Ding, ding. Well, I'm gonna go get some water, soften up the ground a little here. Let me show you where I'm at. Not very far. It felt like I've been doing it forever too. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna feed air up underneath there. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Till next time, the angel of authenticity. The angel of authenticity from outside the motorcycle shop, reminding you to get real and stay that way.